What's up? Welcome to another episode of Expansion Pack. I'm your host, Stan F. Man. Sorry we're a little bit late, but it's all good. You know we in here. Per usual. Let me get my box right. Get that day of the week up on the screen. Mindful Mondays. Alright, there we go. There we go. Now y'all can see what I see. So like I said, welcome. Pause our music. Alright, so we're here for another episode of Expansion Pack. We starting the process today. That's what we doing. Getting our week started off the right way. Um, so we changing up just a little bit of the format. Hey, what's up, Zanita67? And instead of just diving into a video, because I don't even have my game up right now anyway. Um, I want to look at something right now. Today is the 11th. Let's look at some Happy Veterans. Dang, I knew I forgot to put something in there on my tags. Happy Veterans Day to everybody. Let's see. Let's look up some history. Let's look up some history real quick. I'm going to read the history of Veterans Day to y'all real quick. All right. Oh, my glasses. Gotta get my glasses. World War One, known at the time as glasses look foggy. I can read. I can read. Thank you for your service to all my fellow veterans. Yes, same. All right, there we go. There you go. Okay. World War One, known at the time as the Great War, officially ended when Treaty of Versailles was signed on June 28, 1919, in the Palace of Versailles outside the town of Versailles, France. However, fighting ceased 7 months earlier when an armistice or temporary cessation of hostilities between Allied nations and Germany went into effect on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. For that reason, November 11th, 1918 is generally regarded as the end of the war to end all wars. Veterans Day continues to be observed on November 11th, regardless of what day of the week on which it falls. The restoration of the observance of Veterans Day to November 11th not only preserves the historical significance of the date, but helps focus attention on the important purpose of Veterans Day. A celebration to honor America's veterans for their patriotism, love of country, and willingness to serve and sacrifice for the common good. All right. Y'all get a little slight round of applause back there for all the vets out there. All the people who decided to go into their country and support what they believe in for their country. Whether you join the military for your family, for your kids, for your country, you felt it and you feel it. If you still in service and if you out of service, you still feel it. You still feel what that means. And that was read I read that from va.gov. You know, that's the they official stamp. I like to get the official stamp, the official word on it. All right. So let's watch some video about Veterans Day. Notice I say some video because it's a bunch of different support that we get from different places. But let's see what we got. I gotta find something that's good though. All right. A tribute video. That's what I was looking for. Hey, look at that. Fox be hitting. Let's get a minute.
Since 1775, 48 million Americans have served in the armed forces. From the battlefields of the American Revolution to the mountains of Afghanistan, men and women have served and sacrificed their lives defending the Constitution of the United States. Today, we continue to honor those who have served by celebrating Veterans Day.
Special because, those people gave their, went to war for us to have our freedom in America. We should respect them.
On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918, an armistice was declared between the Allied nations and Germany in the First World War. On November 11th of the following year, President Woodrow Wilson proclaimed Armistice Day, remembering the heroism and sacrifice of those who served.
I think that it is a very important holiday and that we should always take the time to stop and say a prayer for all of the troops that are overseas fighting for us every day.
November 11th became a legal federal holiday in the United States in 1938. In the aftermath of World War II and the Korean War, Armistice Day became Veterans Day, a holiday dedicated to American veterans of all wars.
Yes.
We're standing here right now. I'm heading to the golf course, having a good time. And if it wasn't for all the veterans that served through all the wars, we wouldn't be here right now, having a good time. And that's what it means to me. It's great.
President Wilson, hold on, wait. President Wilson proclaimed the day should be filled with solemn pride in the heroism of those who died in the country's service and with gratitude for victory. Give me 1 second. Let me do my post. All right. Hold on. So, regardless of anything, everybody knows somebody that was in the military. Shout out to all my people I know that was in the military. And me, myself, being in the military. That actually came from the Army. Let me subscribe to them and like that video real quick. All right. I think this is it's a great break away from what.
With just me and my team of freelancers from Upwork, I was able to secure a 13-year contract in an international airport.
Today, in countless towns and cities across this great country of ours, we pause and honor the service of more than 46 million veterans who have served our nation. And here we are today at the National Training Center out here at Fort Irwin, California, where we're training soldiers and sailors and airmen, Marines, special operators across all our services to be ready for the crucible of ground combat. And for 241 years, America's veterans have brought liberty and hope to countless people around the world and built the foundation of the country that we all have the privilege of living in today. Veterans. Veterans are among our greatest teachers and doctors and lawyers and policemen and firefighters. They're our mothers, our fathers, our brothers and sisters, and our sons and our daughters. Our veterans are interwoven into the very fabric of our entire society. So on this day, Veterans Day, as we remember those who have served, I urge you to take a few minutes, just take a few moments, just think about and reflect on the freedom that we all have today because of their service and sacrifice each and every day. So our nation is stronger. Thanks to those soldiers behind me, thanks to the training that goes on here at the NTC, Thanks to all the soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines who have served our country for 2.5 centuries. Our nation is stronger thanks to them. Army strong.
My man's. That's a 4-star right there. Hey, look. Hold on. I don't know if y'all noticed it. But I sat real still right then. Because that's a 4-star right there. You feel me? Like, that's a 4-star. I don't know what else to say. You got to get everything right when you see hey. So I usually have the same audience that comes in that watches the show. I don't know how many different people come in, but I will speak to those that I know that do come in. Where we at right now, excuse me, specifically what it took for us to get here because of what you had to do to put the work in. Let's say it was a building that we trying to build, a house that we can't live in until it's built. Well, what if everybody wants to just live their life? Nobody don't want to build. You don't want to put your time in nailing in some nails or putting in some drywall or, putting in windows and stuff. You just want to live. How would that house ever get built? So somebody has to step in and take that sacrifice or make that motion happen. And like I said, I've served, so I see the motion. And without that motion, the walls are down, the defenses are open, whatever you want to say. We ain't gonna be living like this. You ain't gonna be chilling. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that. So with that being said, happy Veterans Day. Shout out to all my vets out there. It's more than just some words. And it's bigger than any holiday. It's every day. Thank y'all for protecting me and my family. Ooh. All right, now let's keep going. Now let's start the process. Let's see. How do you get disciplined? How to be disciplined. Let's watch a quick video.
The future of your business is here. With Wix, you get advanced AI capabilities.
I think we can all feel that with the numerous videos and talks about ways to build consistency in our lives by setting clear goals, creating a routine, and prioritizing the task at hand is sadly not enough. I think the raw and honest truth is that if you've heard the same things numerous times and it still hasn't sprung you into action consistently, there just may be a blockage within the mind that is keeping you from walking and talking in the version of yourself that is consistent. When you have all of the steps laid out in front of you, all of the confirmation to move forward, and you still aren't stepping, that just lets me know that all you need now is the willpower to do so. And that's why I'm here. Hopefully in this episode, I will spark a flame in you again, just to get you over the hump of falling off of your consistency, so that you can look back a year from now after pursuing your dreams and say, damn, I was standing in my way the whole time. Because yes, you were. Welcome to the Raw Nahab Podcast, where we get real and then some. I am your host, Jasmine Siri, and every week I speak on different topics that align with reprogramming the subconscious mind. I share my experiences and discuss how I navigate life consciously so we can reach higher heights and deeper dimensions of the mind, so we can accomplish our goals from a healed and open place together. So, let's get started. Face the fear that comes with being consistent. When our dreams require us to show up in new ways, it scares us. Not because our dreams are scary, but mostly for me because I wanted to do everything right. The uncertainty of this future that I wanted, that I could potentially be present in, but not be good at, was a bruise to my ego. And in order to keep myself safe, I would just freeze. To be honest, a lot of us sabotage things like a child. We have these things that we want and that are in our hands and in our power. And because it's new, and because we haven't really invested the time enough to understand its function or its systems or ways that it can be useful for us or ways that we can master it, the first sign of a mistake or a misunderstanding, we throw it to the ground in frustration. And we drop things and we never pick them up again. When you have a mission to do something, some of the missions in pursuit to the things that you want will not be 100% successful, but it doesn't mean you are not worthy of having those things, which is why strategy is very important. What changed the way I showed up from maybe posting once every couple of months, expecting the same outcome that posting once a week brought me, I had to change my emotional entitlement to the work that I was too afraid to face. Yes, it takes more energy to do what I'm doing now than what I did before, but that is the sacrifice that I decided I wanted when I claimed that this thing was something that I also wanted to. I had to realize and I had to come in agreement with myself that I was worthy of that sacrifice. Enough to have an expectation of something great within myself to act on that greatness 99.8% of the time, even though my emotions were not 99.8% all in. I think when you actually deem yourself worthy enough to have an expectation of something great within yourself, that's when consistency becomes less of an issue. And I also think about it like this. Our schools required a certain level of greatness from us. Our caregivers were held to a standard in order to keep us in that household. The jobs that we have require a level of skill and competence from us. You also deserve a piece of that too, because you want to change your outcome. Repeat after me. I preserve 100% of my excellence for me and my endeavors. I am worthy of my own 100%. And tap your chest and let it be done. Let's double back to the ego. Sometimes we have an ego so large it stands in the way of God doing a new thing in us because the ego wants control. The ego likes staying at the job because it's not challenged by what's happening at the job. The ego likes knowing the outcome. So when you do nothing, it sleeps a little easier knowing that at least they know the outcome of what happens when nothing happens. And they have also no one else to blame but themselves. In this current stage of my life where I'm consistently posting things from the heart, I had to put my ego in the back room to fold clothes. It's doing something and it's keeping itself busy and it's working, but it no longer makes the decisions for me and my higher self. The higher self is what the ego wishes it was. There's just too much dip on my ego's chip to actually require good qualities to lead me into my next destination. And you're aware that this is happening when you finally realize that even the results that you're getting, say you are consistent a numerous amount of times, the things that you thought were gratification for your journey are no longer there. When you see positive results from the work that you're doing, when the ego is present, you will rest. And you will assume like, okay, I did it, I got what I wanted, but there's something deeper when you're truly driven in purpose that the one good thing that happens is not something that makes you feel comfortable or confident enough to rest. Create a normalcy around what you want to do and who you want to become. I obsessed over being a creator, and I still want to make this a full-time gig. So you want to know what I do? I do nothing but watch and listen to creators that do it full time. And it's a normal thing for me to see that. I live in Austin, where a lot of people are in the industry of being creative and capitalizing off of their creativity. So I stopped viewing the things that I wanted as something above me, but something around me. And it changed the way that I approached what I wanted.
Yes.
If you spend all day listening to people who have mastered things you want to start, the starting doesn't seem so hard. I also had to realize how special this moment in my life was, where I'm almost 30, no children, no real responsibilities but myself. And because I had already lived 20 plus years a certain way, I'm just genuinely curious of what a new life where I'm genuinely paid for being authentic will bring me.
Right.
And the curiosity is also what keeps me going. It keeps me consistent. Are you truly dissatisfied with where you are? Are you truly bored? Because when you're bored and you have the energy to do something different, nothing stands in your way of that. But to move forward, I'm still in the journey of trying to make things happen for me. But when it does work out, I will definitely let you know. And notice that I said when and not if, because I don't have room in my mind for doubt because I'm consistent. Sometimes thoughts of doubt come within the mind, but they don't stay there long because they don't feel welcome up there. There's just not enough room for them to exist if I'm constantly creating and I'm constantly doing things. There's things that I tweak, there's things and ways that I try to make things better, but I never stop myself from the doing. Visualize yourself at the end of each task being one step closer to achieving your goals. And notice how different the conversations you're having with yourself become. I had to realize that the enemy was in my procrastination. If I truly feel like what I'm doing is something that is going to help people, imagine what my life would be like, or imagine what so many other people would feel if I allowed the enemy within my mind to win over my actions enough where I never even start.
Right.
I think because I decided I wanted to do something with a purpose and it was aligned with my soul's purpose, I had this military-like mindset of making sure that what I was doing was ultimately because I wanted to be in service for others. And if they never receive that service, I just feel like it's purposeless.
Exactly.
I've also talked openly about the other endeavors that I've wanted to pursue. Sometimes when you stop yourself from being consistent, what you're doing is also stopping your future from happening, or stopping your dreams and other things that you want to do. All of the things that exist inside of your being. Although some of those things lay dormant because of your accessibility to do those things, whether financially, time, energy, the more that you prolong your consistent steps at just creating a foundation for yourself, whatever that is, the more you prolong your suffering of not allowing those parts of you to live out. I think I had to wake up to, the reality that my dream life, what I want for myself, is not going to be given to me. I have to work for everything in my life, and this is just one of those things that I have to work for. And it would be a disservice to my spirit, it would be a disservice to myself to know all of the talent that I have and I carry, know all of the passion that exists inside of me that I was given, and not fight for it enough to try to climb in any way that I can, not out of desperation, but truly because I feel like I am responsible for my gifts. And if I don't advocate for who I am, and if I don't speak life into my gifts enough to strategize, I'm just allowing other people to give me a life that society claims humans are supposed to have. It's not fulfilling. I got a glimpse of the life that other people created for me because I wasn't existing in my gifts, and I did not like it. So why would I continue? You know? And maybe because I just reached this level of consciousness where I stopped pretending like being an adult meant completely getting rid of my creativity. Like, there are some people that are mathematicians, there are some people that are scientists, you know, all of the things, right? And it's in them to be that, and they are
as creative as they want to be.
People in society that are existing in their gifts. But when it comes to the arts, when it comes to people that are speakers and, you know, people that are writers and authors, very seldom do those people get the same type of power and recognition for actually having creative gifts, as opposed to like linear scientific or mathematical, you know, callings. And I kind of want to change the stigma of that, because I can't be anyone else. Right. And I also don't let people make me feel bad for not being that way. In a way, when someone is looking down upon you for being creative and having real creative gifts, like scary gifts, in a way they're kind of looking down at God for blessing you with all of these things. And it just it gives me a bad taste in my mouth. But that's what society was. Like, if you weren't doing something to contribute to society as a consumer, or by numbers or science or like all of those things, engineering, if you're not contributing in those ways, they look at you like you're completely lost. Not everyone is brave enough to have passion. But we do these things where we go to school every day. We, you know, have jobs that we go to all the time. And because of our responsibilities as adults, or whoever we are, right, we find the energy to show up and try to excel or try to achieve or try to be an asset. And we lose all of that energy for ourselves. And consistency is a rebellion to the forces that be, that no matter what societal system they've created to make us a contributor to this messed up world, you still have gifts, you still have passion, art, loves, and it would be a complete disservice to yourself if you do not act on them vigilantly and with strategy. There's a stretching that happens within you that no longer scares you and freezes you. It just awakens something in you. You know what's so interesting? I'm not gonna lie. I took one single Kundalini yoga class.
Oh my gosh, girl, why you gotta start?
Something activated in me that changed my entire life. And it's hard for me to describe how activating it was, but the breath, you know, breath of fire, I truly felt it was a gift to have this life, to feel close to this divine thing that we all are. And I just took a good look at myself and like, who am I not to express the God in me, to be consistent enough to share who I am with the world? You know, to know that we're out here, to know that, you know, if you are anything like me, you're not alone. And it is now our time to just fully walk in our gifts, because something very special is happening in the air. I don't know what it is, but there's like this wind of change happening. I don't know. A few days ago, I had this like trembling anxiety. You know when something good is about to happen and you're just like walking about your day like, ooh, like that's what I feel is happening. There's so much energy happening in the world, and now is the time for you to get on like get on it. Like, if you have to be on necks, if you have to get on people's necks and not let up, do that. Like, I remember years ago when I first started like being consistent on social media, I stopped doing it on Instagram because I did feel like I was attracting a lot of people that were surface level. I'm not even gonna lie. So I just started investing in YouTube. But now that I'm on Instagram kind of again, still delivering that same type of consistency, just with just a little up a notch, because I've finally laid a foundation of
I'll be right back.
consistency.
Y'all continue to enjoy.
I know that people feel the difference of what I'm trying to do. People understand kind of my mission. And not only that, they look at the world, they look at their day to day, and they feel that who I am and what I try to do and what I try to share, it's needed. And it's just, when you reach that point of consistency and you're in a deep end, now you realize you can't stop. That's what I want for you, because it's going to be bigger than the ways that you feel. It's going to be bigger than tiredness, when you truly feel like you're doing something that is of service and that needs to be done, needs to be said. No matter how hard it is for people to digest, there are people in this world that are in it but not of it, and what they are of is worthy of being shared, because it could potentially be the very thing that makes a person change this world. And if it is my responsibility to speak life into the people that are truly going to shift the world, I want to do my part. So if I can inspire you in any way, I hope that in this video, it is everything that you need to hear to get off of your ass and just do everything that you're afraid to. Not because it's actually scary, but because there's a different version required of you right now that is not only going to help maybe your life situation, but it might help the world and heal it and do something amazing. And I was talking to a friend today about just how desensitized we are with like seeing so many people talking, hearing their voices, seeing their faces, and like all of these things. We're so busy watching other people's magic that we forget that we have something magic inside of us as well. And there's probably someone who is going to shift the way that we see the world, but they're sitting dormant and they know it, but it scares them. It scares them so much because they don't know the outcome. No one really wants to be a martyr, even though they have, you know, the calling to, because we know how it always ends for them or us, but it's bigger than that. It's so much bigger. So I want you to see yourself, your life, your story, who you are, as something worthy of giving a shot at just being consistent, just to see where it goes. And when it goes as good as it's going to go, come back to me and tell me how right I am, because I'm a Virgo and I like to hear that I'm right. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're listening to this on Spotify, please leave a review of the episode. It does so much for me. I would appreciate it if you did. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at jasmine.siri. And I hope to see you all in my next one. Bye.
Dang, y'all didn't hear nothing I said. All right, back to the search real quick. All right, I'm going to put on another one for y'all real quick, and I will be right back again. I got to make sure it's good. to make more money. Hey, Sadhguru.
The world's first titanium nonstick pan. It's gonna blow your hair back. I'm Mike Pagale, 3 Michelin chef.
The only thing that you have to do is rise and sparkle as a full-fledged life. Because when you're doing wonderfully well, you will do what is needed. Then he will not ask, how do I wake up in the morning and be motivated? You should not be a motivated person. Generally, when we say somebody is motivated, it means they have an agenda of their own. Life has no agenda. It's for you to be a full-fledged life. A grasshopper is trying to be a full-fledged grasshopper, earthworm is trying to be a full-fledged earthworm, a bird is trying to be a full-fledged bird, a tree is trying to be a full-fledged tree. A human being should strive to become a full-fledged human being. This is all our business is. But each one of us start creating our own agendas and doing all kinds of things. No, you're just a piece of life, don't take yourself too seriously. Because before you and me, countless number of people have come and gone. Yes or no? Where are they? All those people. You think they were all idiots? They were all idiots and they died, is it? No, they were also like you, maybe they were also officers, maybe they were kings more than you, all kinds of things, all topsoil now. This will also become topsoil. Just a little bit of time. Life is a bit of a sparkle. How old is your son, sir? 25. So 27 years ago, where was he, sir? So if somebody is not here, we say they are dead, isn't it? 27 years ago, he was dead. We will give him 100 years, sir. 80 years later, he will be again dead. Yes or no? Yes. So, 27 years ago, how long was he dead, sir? Huh? Long time. So, 85 years later or 80 years later, how long will he be dead, sir? Very long time. So all of us will be dead for a very long time. We're alive just for a brief amount of time. Yes, very brief amount of time. We will be dead for a very long time. I want you to look at it in this perspective. How long will you be dead? You can't imagine. So let us say 10,000 years we are dead, or 100,000 years we are dead, or 1,000,000 years we are dead, all right? How long are you alive compared to that? Very, very brief. What you call as life is a brief sparkle. The only thing that you have to do is rise and sparkle as a full-fledged life. When something is needed around us, we will do that naturally, because when you're doing wonderfully well, you will do what is needed, isn't it? When you're miserable, you will be motivated. Yes? Tell me, when you're very happy, have you looked at yourself? How nice and wonderful you are, you're willing to do anything for anybody, bend backwards if necessary, yes or no? When you're little frustrated, woo, how difficult it is. So, don't teach your children to become motivated about something. These are all nonsense that's coming from the West, all those trashy self-help books. Motivate yourself, build confidence, believe in yourself. You believed in God and destroyed so much of this world. Now you believe in yourself, what will you do? All this trash is coming from the West. You don't have to be motivated. You just have to see how this is alive to its fullest possible level right now. If it's fully alive, it will do everything that it can do, isn't it? What it cannot do, anyway it will not do. If you watch a bird in the morning, there are birds here, you know. Where do you come from, sir? Delhi? Huh? Tamil Nadu, Chennai? Chennai, maybe there are no birds at all except kaka. Huh? So here if you see a bird, sir, little bird, in the morning, it's doing everything that it can do, isn't it? Hello? Everything that it can do, it'll spare nothing. That's all you have to do. Everything that you can do. What you cannot do, perfectly okay. A worm cannot do what a bird does, a bird cannot do what an elephant does, an elephant cannot do what we do, yes or no? But we must be doing what we can do. What we cannot do, it doesn't matter. What we can do must happen. For this, all that's needed is, you must understand life is a very brief sparkle, it's just poop, poop, poop and gone. Yes or no? Before you know what's happening, you'll be gone. Unless you're miserable. Miserable people have a long life. Only they feel life is long. If you're very joyful, poof, it'll be gone before you know what's happening. Have you noticed a specific day, you're very happy, 24 hours, gone like that. Little miserable, 24 hours, feel like 10,000 years. Yes or no? So time is a very relative experience, but if you compare to how long you will be dead, you will be dead for millions of years. You're alive just for a few, little bit. This time, don't be motivated by anything. All that you have to do is you must become a full-fledged life. 25-year-old boy, he shouldn't become a motivated human being. He must just be burst of life. Then he will not ask, how do I wake up in the morning and be motivated? What are you motivated about? Nothing. If you're alive, you'll bounce out of your bed, isn't it? But now, the way we eat, the way we breathe, the way we do things, and intoxicants and stuff, everything, generally the body wants to die. It doesn't want to be alive. People, you know, it's all from the West. People created this culture, what is that, thank God it's Friday. The statistics show that 70% of the Americans hate their jobs, not dislike, hate. 5 days if you do something that you hate, I don't know how you enjoy the weekend. All that happens in the weekend is, you're knocked out. You are either drunk or you're drugged or you're indulging in something, okay? Beyond that, no great shakes joy is happening, all right? Yes or no? 70% of the people hate their jobs. How do you live like this? Why the hell are you doing something that you hate? First of all, if you don't love doing what you're doing, you shouldn't do it, always somebody will do it. Hello? Someone comes to me, he's heading a multinational company, global CEO. He comes in a distressed state and said, Guru, I can't take this. They're putting so much pressure on me every day, can't take this. Then I look at him, raise my hands and say, may you be fired. Oh, Sadhguru, what are you saying? I said, hey man, you're suffering so much. What is the point? At least if you're fired, you can walk on the beach, huh? Maybe somebody else will do this job little more joyfully than you. You think you're spinning the planet or what? Hello? What is the hardship? Are you spinning the planet? Are you pushing it around the sun? Everything is free, isn't it? Hello? Everything is free. All you have to do is be a full-fledged life. Don't constipate yourself with too many ideas, philosophies, belief systems, stupid thoughts and emotions with which you get constipated and become less than who you are. No, you should not ever be less than what you can be, isn't it? You don't have to be as good as somebody else, and you can never be, because everybody is different. But you should not be less than what you can be. So you don't need motivation for this, you need aliveness. At 25, if you're not very alive, you need some cranking. Chennai. Chennai usually is alive very early in the morning. It's not like Bangalore. Bangalore wakes up at 10 o'clock. Chennai is alive at 5 o'clock in the morning generally. So don't motivate your children, it's not necessary. You have to see how they're joyful and alive. In this, their body and their intelligence will work at its best. Oh, will they just be happy and not do anything? You tell me, are you willing to do more when you're happy? Or are you willing to do more when you're unhappy? When you're happy, you're willing to do anything that is needed, isn't it? You're willing to forego your food, your sleep and do what you need to do when you're very happy, isn't it? When you're unhappy, oh, how hard it is to get anything done from you. Yes or no? So a wife sent a telegram to her husband, who was in a 3-month training, IAS, you know. She sent a telegram, start worrying, rest will follow in a letter. Don't do this to yourself. At 25 you start worrying, rest will follow.
So, let's look at starting to go to school, for example. Let me get her another show up on here. Let's say you starting to go to school, right? And I'm not talking about going to school like first grader going to school. I'm talking about middle schooler starting to go to school. Let's start there. A middle schooler is going from 5th grade to 6th grade. They see one classroom all the time, and then now in 6th grade they see a couple different classrooms, and on top of that they have bigger kids there with them doing different stuff, different freedoms, all of that, right? How do you start? Where do you start? You just dive right in there, huh? You gotta go, so you're gonna dive right in there. No. Well, what you would do is, if you're the middle schooler, you just gonna go. But if you was, I guess, one of the high class, high quality middle schoolers, you prepare yourself. And then if you really, really good, your parents is there with you and helping you along the way. Boom. Now let's go to high school. What do you do when you start in high school? Well, when I started high school, I thought I was going, I went to the 9th grade first, and I was with 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th graders. And, you know, it was a big campus. I was pretty much used to it from middle school, walking around from class to class. So it's cool. But then I went backwards a stage and went back to, I was going to school with basically just 9th graders. And then it was a mix of like middle schoolers in there. They called it junior high. And then I went to high school. And once I got up there to high school, it was just, you know, kind of same old, same old. And you know, you find where you fit in. But my difference is that, man, it was some like adults. It was like an adult atmosphere. It wasn't a kid. You were a kid, but it was an adult atmosphere when you in school. And, you know, you just kind of dive right in there. Like I said, same process. If you was lucky, you know, you got your parents, or if you whatever, and you prepped. What does that look like with college? Well, pretty much the same thing, except it's all the way adult, and it's just you. You know, and I did that process too as well. So, with all of these things, I'm using school as an example. With all of it, you don't stop along the way and like kind of breathe it in and say, hey, where am I at in my life? I haven't done it until I was 30, in my 30s. And I stop and say, hey, whoa, wait, where am I at in my life? And I can put down like a sort of fix her some. And I get a sort of timeline effect or number line effect on where I'm at in my life. And where I'm at right now on that number line is I ain't have the answer for that as soon as I thought of it. We'll get back to that. But I am not at the beginning of the process of living. I've been living for a while. And so when I'm looking at that for myself, I'm not going to say we. I ain't giving no advice for nobody else. When I'm looking at that for myself, this process is a page turn as opposed to seconds or hours or even years of my life. It's a page turn. Everything is a page turn. So today may not be the turn of the page for me. Tomorrow may not even be the turn of the page for me. But let's say something like Christmas or New Year's, the start of a new year, or birthday may be the page turn for me to where I go to that next step or next part of my life. And what I'm looking at is not trying to start the process again. What I'm trying to do is keep on turning the page, but remember which part of the process I'm on. Now, let's say I wanted to get disciplined again or get more disciplined. Then that's the start of a process. Let's say I want to learn how to play the piano. That's the start of a process. So let's look at how to be accountable. Keywords, you know what I'm saying? How to start. They always got starting a business. To be accountable. I only like YouTube because it pretty much you can type in.
This is how AI optimizes my schedule. This meeting got canceled. Hooray! We didn't really want to go anyways. But now I have a free afternoon and 1,000 things I need to get done.
This concept of parenting yourself is really, really important for you to wrap your brain around.
Ain't we done heard from Mel
let me dig
before?
into it just a little bit. I write extensively in part 2 of the 5-second rule book about how we make decisions. And the fact that we make decisions not based on what we know we need to do, not based on our goals, but based on how we feel right now. It's your feelings that make the decision for you. It's one of the reasons why parents are so important for kids, because if we let it up to kids to do whatever they felt like doing,
Right.
they'd never go to school, they'd never do their homework, they'd never use their manners, they'd never learn to eat correctly,
Right.
they'd never do anything. They'd just sit around and watch TV all day. That's the job of a parent. What most of us don't realize is that when you become 18, when you move out of the house, when you're an adult, you have to parent yourself.
Right.
Here's the rub. You're never, ever, ever, ever going to feel like doing the things you need to do in order to have what you want. You're always going to need to push yourself. You're always going to need to parent yourself. So what is the net advice on this? What is the bottom line? The bottom line is no one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to tell you to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for you. It's up to you. And because you're only ever going to do the things that you feel like doing right now or that feel good right now, unless you understand that you've got to parent yourself, you got to push yourself, you're not going to make your dreams come true. You're just not. We're not wired that way. You weren't born that way, you weren't that way when you were growing up, and you're certainly not that way as an adult. And there's a tremendous amount of liberation that comes when you accept the fact that you're always going to need to give yourself a push.
Exactly. That's my girl. Hey, y'all better listen to Mel.
Hey Psych2Goers, thank you so much for the love and support that you've given us. As you know, our mission is to make psychology more accessible to everyone. Before we begin, we'd also like to give a quick shout out to all of our subscribers who have joined our YouTube membership. We're so thankful for all the support that you've given us. It means a lot to us and it helps us continue what we do. As your contributions go back to investing in this channel. Thanks for the love. Now, on to the video. Are you emotionally mature? There's a difference between being mature and being emotionally mature. You can have a receding hairline and be over 6 feet tall and still not be emotionally mature. So what does it mean to be emotionally mature? When someone is emotionally mature, they can manage their feelings in nearly any situation. They possess empathy for others and often know how to de-escalate a conflict if necessary. They're the person you go to when you have a tough issue you need to talk about. Sounds great, right? Well,
stop asking research questions to ChatGPT. Its answers are not reliable. And
to help you get a grasp on your emotions, here are 8 ways to become more emotionally mature. Number 1, identify your emotions. How can we get a grasp on our emotions if we don't first know what we're feeling? It might seem silly that you must identify your emotions, but before you get into a heated fight or start breaking down into a sob, do you know what led you there? Maybe a simple irritation over a comment someone made found its way deep into your thoughts, and you carried that anger with you for the rest of the day. If you first recognize what you're feeling, then you can start to understand why and resolve it for yourself. Try leaving a tally in a journal every time you feel angry or irritated, and for every time you feel sad or empty. Then ask yourself why you felt that way. Being aware and understanding why you feel these things can help you manage your emotions. So if you know you're getting irritated at your brother for eating the last donut, your donut, take a breath and recognize that you're simply irritated at a donut before you say something you'll regret. That irritation could turn into anger for the rest of the day if you don't first identify why you were even angry in the first place. Now recognize your anger and acknowledge it. Remind yourself that your feelings are valid, but you don't have to act on them. Number 2, take responsibility. Have you ever denied something just because you didn't want to admit you were wrong? Sometimes reality can be hard to face, but it's more mature to take responsibility for our actions instead of brushing them away. If we simply ignore that we were wrong during an argument, or don't take action on things that are our responsibilities, we can never learn and grow from our mistakes. Being aware, holding yourself accountable, recognizing you were wrong, and learning from your mistakes shows that you're emotionally mature. Not only that, next time you're in the same situation, you won't make the same mistake twice. Number 3, find a role model. If you struggle with how quickly you react negatively in stressful situations, try looking towards someone you admire as a guide. What would they do? If someone you admire acts in an emotionally mature and positive way in tough situations, it's great to use them as a role model. Like Mother Teresa. What a role model. It's important to, of course, not lose track of who you are. You don't want to become your role model and lose yourself. You just want to learn how they handle situations so well. Maybe they have a great work ethic that you admire. Try it out. How do they handle negative feedback? Calm and smoothly? Worth a try. So next time you're in a tough situation, think, what would Mother Teresa do? Number 4, keep a thought diary. Do you suffer from negative thoughts? Are you constantly discouraging yourself? Do you point out your flaws every time you look in the mirror or complete a project? It's important to our mental health that we work towards having positive thoughts as opposed to negative ones. While we may think, oh, it's just one negative thought, no big deal, these negative comments we make to ourselves start to pile up. Soon, you're left with a harsh thinking pattern that will often take the lead when it comes to what you think. These thought processes are usually automatic and can become habitual. We don't want to think of ourselves or others in a negative light, but negativity can find a way inside of our minds. A good way to think positive is to practice cognitive reconstructuring. This can be done by keeping a thought diary. Write down what you feel every day. What were some thoughts that raced through your mind? What did you stress about? Was it worth it? What are some alternative ways to look at the situation? Our worry can be valid. But when we open up our diary and see the same thoughts take up our day over and over, we may realize they weren't worth worrying about at all. When we recognize this, we can start to move on and come up with practical solutions on how to resolve our stress and negative thoughts. We can always counteract the negative thoughts by writing a positive one beside it as well. Number 5, learn to be open-minded. Emotionally mature people understand they don't have all the answers. That's why it's best to open our minds to other perspectives besides simply our own. We may have a strong opinion on certain subjects, but it doesn't hurt to actively listen to another's opposing opinion instead of thinking about ways we can persuade them that they're wrong. It's best not to judge someone or something right away. If we learn to be open-minded, even with the little things, we give ourselves the chance to try something new. We can enjoy different films or literature we might not have thought was our taste, try a unique recipe, and most importantly, hear others out. We may learn something from listening to another's perspective, and we may realize we were wrong. We can still choose our opinions in the end, but this is after we've listened with an open mind to the other's beliefs or arguments. Even if we don't agree, we may understand them a little bit more, and that can be powerful. As our role model, Mother Teresa, has advised, if you judge people, you have no time to love them. Number 6, embrace reality. Do you often beat yourself up because of your circumstances and your flaws? Remember negative thoughts? Do they spend a lot of time dwelling on your reality instead of dwelling on your flaws or even suppressing them? Accept and embrace them. This is your life. Instead of ignoring your struggles, find a way to be at peace with them. If you can change it, work towards change. If you can't, embrace who you are, where you are, and work towards what will make you smile. Embracing this will not only give you clarity to move forward, but peace as well. Mother Teresa's wise tips on peace? Peace begins with a smile. Number 7, pause and be patient. Have you ever been in a heated argument and said something you didn't mean and later regretted it? This is likely because we act on impulse when upset. If we take a moment to pause and reflect, we can then begin to say what we really mean. Simply expressing how we feel and why can turn a situation around by not only making the other person understand you, but yourself as well. Choose to pause in a stressful or confusing situation to give yourself the option to consciously choose how you want to react. It will only lead you on the path to emotional maturity. And number 8, live in the present. Dwelling on the past can cause us sadness and regret. Dwelling on the future, don't even get me started on how stressful. So, while we can learn from our past and make choices for our future, we need to learn to live in the present. If we're present and make conscious decisions, we're less likely to react negatively or fall into old habits. Being present is powerful. It's the only moment we can act, choose, experience, and enjoy if we allow ourselves to. We can't change the past, and we can't jump to the future. So why waste the precious time we have dwelling upon them? Life is happening now, as we speak, in front of you. And as Mother Teresa would say, yesterday is gone. Tomorrow has not yet come. We have only today. Let us begin. So, are you emotionally mature? Did you find these tips helpful? Let us know which one of these tips you'll follow in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe to Psych2Go for more psychology content and advice. And
so, I found inside of myself that I got to start allowing myself to be who I am, but not so much like simple like that, but like, all right, it's okay to be sad, right? That was easy for me. I'm like, all right, okay, you can be sad because you got something to be sad about probably. It's like, all right, it's okay for you to be happy. Well, people be like, well, you always happy all the time, and you sum that up to, they just don't like. You might just need to change your environment so that you can be happy, So that right there was okay for me too. It was easy enough to do. Now, happy, sad. What's the other one? before angry. That's the yeah, I guess. I guess that's a feeling. I don't know. I'm gonna skip over that one. But being angry, that one right there was kind of hard for me to accept, and it wasn't no proper release. It's like having a fire hydrant, right? Your fire hydrant just sit there until you need it. Essentially, ain't no reason for you to release it. Ain't no reason for the water to come out, so it just not. You know what I'm saying? So how do you maintain that fire hydrant? You know, how do you maintain that anger when you like, hey, this is when society tell you that, hey, it's not always appropriate for you to release that emotion. How do you get a good handle on practicing on, or how do you start to learn how to train yourself to release that emotion properly if you don't even get to use it that often, you know? So for me, anger or being mad is one that's tough, because I'm like, well, how do I express this the right way? You know? So that right there, I just wanted to say that because I'm starting to figure out a way to do that right there. And I guess that goes into being emotionally mature. Let's go over to TikTok real quick. Holla at them. See what they got for us. You know, TikTok got the real people talking. All right. So
this is how you're gonna change your life. Literally 6 months ago, I had like 500 followers. Now I'm at 150,000, and my Facebook's at 100,000. Like, come on. Basically, what you're gonna do is you're gonna create an alter identity for yourself on some DID type shit, like for real, like canceled. A completely different person. But like,
hey, they canceled my video. Hold on. I'm about to say I stayed within the proper people. I ain't go hop outside the people that I wasn't supposed to play. Alright, there we go. I thought they canceled my video.
who has everything that you want? You're gonna make a person who has everything you want. You're gonna write down in your journal, what do they do every day? First off, give them a name. Also, they're gonna need a name, but like, what do they do? What do they spend their money on? What you're gonna do is you're gonna create an alter identity for yourself on some DID type shit, like for real, like a completely different person. But like, who has everything that you want? You're gonna make a person who has everything you want. You're gonna write down in your journal, what do they do every day? First off, give them a name. Also, they're gonna need a name, but like, what do they do? What do they spend their money on? What do they spend their time doing? Who are their friends? Who's their boyfriend, girlfriend, they, them, friend, whatever? You know, who are they with? What charities do they donate to if they're the kind of person that donates? Basically, you're gonna create literally a character like you're writing for a TV show. And then, listen, for a week, I want you to do this for a week to test it, because I want you to see that it really works. For a week, you're gonna pretend that you're that person. My name, my alter ego is Leslie. Bitch, when I go like this, I'm Leslie, bitch. I'm a 50-year-old black woman who's rich. Like, everything's paid for. I have a loving husband. We got 5 kids. We safe. We got the dog, backyard for the dog to run in. Got everything I want. I got 3 cars, 2 yachts, bitch. We rich as fuck. And when I'm Leslie, I'm gonna act like Leslie. So let me.
Why she had to?
Yes. No, I'm just but like on some real shit, like I'm just literally embodying everything that Leslie would be, whether it's like, you know, having fun. Like, I want to be a fun old person. I'm gonna be the one that's real fun as fuck. So I'm gonna pretend that I'm her already, that I've had the life experiences that she's had, and that I'm settled into myself, that I'm safe no matter what I say, do, what happens. I'm good and I'm safe. So you're gonna pretend and do this for a week, and then you're gonna see what the results are. I've been doing it for 6 months, and this is what the results are. Literally about to go to Guatemala next week, move into a house in a month. Like, I'm like, life is working out, you know. But it's really about embodying the things that you want to be. And if you attach that to another alter identity or another ego, the like fear of you messing up isn't really there, because it's not you, it's Leslie. You know what I mean? So yeah.
You said Leslie.
Maybe it's crazy. Maybe it's crazy, but it worked. So yeah. Follow for more.
I really think a lot of people underestimate how much they can change their whole life within 3 months. Honestly, within a month, you can see a shift with true focus, consistency, and discipline, you can become unrecognizable. I'm going to share with you 3 tips on how you can transform your life. Number 1, I want you to be honest with yourself. Any negative thoughts or belief systems you have, I need you to write that down. If you have bad relationship with money, write that down. If you have certain habits or addictions that you don't like about yourself, write that down so you can begin to work on those things and be aware of these pitfalls that hold you up. An example, money. Instead of you saying, man, I'm broke, I ain't gonna never have nothing, you're gonna say, no, I attract wealth and it comes to me freely. You wanna guard your words and make sure that you're speaking life into your situation while being honest with yourself at the same time. You don't wanna be delusional, okay? But you wanna be honest and positive about your future. Okay, so if there are certain habits that you have that is eating away at your money, then you're going to be honest with yourself and be like, okay, instead of eating processed food every single day, instead of going out to eat every day, instead of drinking and all this type of stuff that's chipping away at my money every day, I'm going to be honest with myself and say, okay, let me stop. Let me cut back on that. But I'm still going to speak life, right? Until my situation shifts. That's how powerful your words are. The next tip, which I personally believe is the most important, is making sure you have a relationship with the Most High. You can only go so far without Him. You need to truly pray and ask the Lord what your purpose is on this earth so you can pursue that and not waste your life on foolery, on the things of this world. Listen, you can get the riches, the possessions, the relationships, the things of this world. But if you ain't got God, you're going to always feel empty and lost. Like, develop a routine prayer life. If you only can read 1 chapter a day, just start right there. Put some effort in and show the Lord that you are intentional with spending time with Him and building a relationship with Him. Just show the Lord that. And watch how He give you a hunger and desire after righteousness, after His presence. Just watch what He do. The Bible says, if you draw near to me, I will draw near to you. You got to draw to God. You got to put forth that effort. Last tip is your health. Make sure you show up for yourself every day. Whether that's eating clean, organic food, cooking your meals. Stop eating processed food. It's disforming your body and your skin. Make sure you go to the gym and do strength training at least 3 times a week. Like, put forth that effort and you will become unrecognizable in 90 days. If you do that consistently, I'm telling you, people will not be able to recognize you. You are transforming mind, body, and soul. Who has time to think about they ex and a breakup when you're that focused on your spiritual walk, on your mental transformation and your physical transformation? You don't have time to focus on who abandoned you, who left you, who hurt you, who abused you. So focused on transforming, you're not focused on the past because you're looking towards the future. Also, last one, make sure you're taking your vitamins, your vitamin D, your omega-3s. Make sure you take your zinc, all your vitamins you need. All right, if you made it this far in the video, comment below. I'm transforming mind, body, and soul. Come on, comment.
Literally not gonna gatekeep anything. I'm getting ready to share with you how you can change your life in 60 days, just like I did 8 years ago. This is gonna be your summer guide to get paid, so make sure you save this comment so you can come back to it. Whatever it is that you need to do, make sure you can find it later. So listen, we all know it's summertime, but the first thing that you want to focus on doing is staying in while everyone is out. Not saying you can't go have a celebratory dinner every now and then, or maybe brunch with the girls, but you need to focus during this time. If you want a life that no one else can live, you have to do the things that no one else is willing to do. Next, we gotta stop watching this content and feeling like we need to overconsume and buy all of these things when really you don't even realize that you're creating this faux happiness. And if you just sat and you focused on achieving your goals, you can create a life that brings that happiness organically. Not to mention, if you're wondering why your finances is jacked up, that's probably one of the main reasons why. Next, when it comes to social media, all you do is scroll and scroll and scroll and wonder why nothing's getting done. What you should be doing is consuming content to find windows of opportunity or inspiration. If you shift your focus on the type of content that you choose to consume, I promise you, just this one small, simple change will make a huge shift in your life. Next, I already know you do it, so don't try to act like you don't. Stop comparing yourself to people, okay? And stop allowing the fear to paralyze you and keep you away from achieving your goals. There's no way in hell you're going to get the life that you want if you're simply afraid to take one baby step forward every single day. And last, even if you got all 4 down packed, life is not going to get easier with this freaking economy if you do not focus on increasing your income. Now, there's so many ways that you can do this, but in today's digital age, especially if you have a tight budget, digital products is the way to go. I have a full tutorial pinned at the top of my page, or you can watch the workshop to help you get started. The moral of the story is right now is the best time to put the effort in to change your life. And if there's anything that you want in this life, it's going to take some effort to get it. And it may seem boring and it may seem like it's going to take long to get there, but you're never going to get there if you do not simply start. Exactly. Now, these were the same 5 steps that I followed when I was going through a divorce with a 2-year-old all by myself 8 years ago. And if I can do it, baby, you can do it too. Just start today and you'll thank yourself tomorrow.
Here's a step-by-step plan on how to change your life in exactly 30 days. Number 1, start hitting the gym every single day. You need to start looking at the gym as your out. Think about it as this is the solution to everything that's going on in my life. Number 2, start learning skill sets. I will figure out what I want to learn and do it for 30 days, 6 months, 12 months straight, right? Do one thing over a period of time, you're going to become great at it. Number 3, start cutting off people you don't actually need to be around. Are they making deposits into your life? Or are they withdrawing from you and from your time, right? And then the 4th thing, and I would say, is separate yourself from people who don't think like you, right? So again, you can't hang around everybody because again, everybody's not trying to get to where you're trying to get to. And then also number 5, I would say read more books, educate yourself, focus on understanding that knowledge and skill sets is what appreciates your value as a human and as a person that somebody wants to pay or hire.
If you only see one video from my page, please let it be this one, because what I'm about to tell you is going to change your life. In this video, I'm going to tell you how to actually manifest, because the truth is manifesting is easy. It's usually the easiest things to do that are the hardest to do. However, manifesting does not have to be complicated, because it's not. Manifesting is basically shifting the energies inside you to match the energies that you want to align with outside of you. And it happens in 4 simple steps. Step 1 is your thoughts. I'm sure you've heard this saying before, your thoughts create your reality, and no true words have ever been said. When you truly believe something with absolute conviction, the universe will have no choice but to bring it in front of you. So if you tell yourself that life is so hard, I don't have enough money for this, everything is so difficult, the world is just against me, guess what? Life will be difficult. Everything you do will be difficult. Money will never come to you easily. You're gonna have to break your back to earn a dime. You'll never feel comfortable in your body. Nothing will ever make you feel complete. But if you tell yourself, and I mean delusionally tell yourself, that I am enough, money comes easy to me, I attract wealth easily, everything is always working out in my favor. If you tell yourself these things, you're conditioning not only yourself, but the universe to answer it. There's 2 things that I find happen most often. The first is that people will take these affirmations, they'll write them down, they'll put them on their mirror, they'll repeat them to themselves again and again, which is great. And then the first time something bad happens, they'll be like, oh, this doesn't work anyway, I knew this wasn't gonna work out, this is a bunch of foo-foo, I don't believe in any of this, like this is why I don't try anything new. Like, come on. Listen, you are a sum of every single decision, every single thought that you've ever had is what you are in this current moment in time. Think about how many decisions that you have made with that mindset to get to where you are. Changing one decision is not going to change that whole list of things that have happened. To the universe, you have a credit history or a mindset history that tells a story. You have to prove to the universe that you are a credible investment, because why would the universe give you something if you're not ready for it? you're not going to know what to do with it. When bad things happen, you have to continue with this mindset. Say, you know, this may not have worked out my favor, but everything else always works out in my favor. You have to retain that resolve, the delusional resolve that everything is going to work out for you. And the second thing is that people will manage to get to this delusional mindset where they believe everything works out in their favor. They are the most beautiful people they've ever seen in their entire life. And then guess what? They stay there.
Right.
Like
Stay
that is
right
just
there.
one step to manifestation. There are 3 other steps that you're completely skipping over, and that's why nothing happens, nothing changes. So let's move on to step 2. Step 2 is your feelings. For some reason, especially in our society today, we have this romanticization and respect for logic, for rational thought, for all these other things, which is great, but that's half of the story. We are not just rational beings, we are emotional beings. You know, that's what makes us human. That's what makes us sentient. We have emotions, we have feelings. So the second part of manifesting is making your dreams, your goals, a visceral experience. How will you feel once you have that thing? How will it taste? What does it smell like? What does it feel like on your skin? If you have a goal to have an amazing wardrobe, how are you going to feel in those clothes? You're going to feel the fabrics, the beautiful fabrics on your skin. You're going to love the way that your body moves. You're going to love looking at yourself. You're going to smell like fresh linen. You're going to smell like, you have to feel these things. If your goal is to have a lot of money, right? What does that feel like? What does it feel like when you're able to purchase the things that you want to purchase? When you have, you know, disposable income to buy, let's say food, you know, you really love desserts. So you want to have enough money to be able to go to the restaurant and buy desserts. What does that feel like? What does that taste like? Are you sharing these desserts with other people? Is there joy that you're feeling? You know, are you feeling comradeship? Are you feeling, like, what are you feeling about this goal? Then you have to take all of those feelings and live them right now, even though you don't have them. And I think that a lot of people skip over the visualization because it sounds ridiculous. It's hard to visualize having money when you have a lot of debt. It's hard to visualize.
I gotta pause you right there. It's so crazy how, I guess, when we were kids, it was easy to do these things because we didn't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got nothing to go off. We don't know nothing. We ain't been here before. If she is driving, when was she looking at the road? I don't know. I just realized that too. But like I was saying, as kids, it was easy for us to believe this stuff because we didn't have nothing. We ain't know nothing. We ain't know nothing about this life. So now that we older, we feel like we got some sort of notion, and then it's like, dang, you realize you go further and further and get older and older, and you realize more and more you don't know nothing. Shouldn't you revisit some of them old thoughts of, hey, you know, I used to do it this way, I used to do it that way. And as a kid, you used to do things a certain way, like imagining or visualization for yourself, or, you know, taking yourself to a different place so that you can control your emotions. You used to do stuff like that. He get older and then be like, oh, that's ridiculous, you know, it's nothing. Your imagination isn't anything.
And feeling your best when you don't. It's hard to visualize having clear skin when you don't. Obviously. Anyway. You have to take all of those feelings and feel them right now. Feel them as if you already have them. Feel them as if you are already living that truth. You know, that's where, you know, there's this saying that it's like you have to dress for the job that you want, not the job that you have. It's the same mentality where you have to already feel like you are complete, already feel like you have all those things so that the universe can bring them to you and match that energy. Another way to look at it, let's say that your goal was to have more money, right? So what are your beliefs about money? What are the feelings when people talk about money? Do you feel scared? Do you have this like visceral experience of fear when it comes to money based on, you know, the experiences that you had as a child? This is where shadow work comes into it because it's all connected. You think back at your childhood. Were there any conversations? What were the very first conversations that maybe your parents have had about money? Did you ever hear your parents say that we don't have money for that, or we can't afford this? These sentiments, these phrases that you grew up hearing have shaped the way that you look at money. I say this as someone who grew up that way as well. One thing I really found worked for me was, rather than saying I don't have money for that, because that's telling the universe that you don't have money, you want to say instead, that's not a priority.
Right.
It's not a priority.
Just not a priority.
Like, I'm not saying that this is going to change overnight. I catch myself saying that sometimes, and I have to actively say, even out loud to myself, it's not a priority. A lot of what we talked about before has to do with your mind and has to do with your body, how you feel. Now we're moving on to action, and I find a lot of people skip the action part for some reason. Manifesting is not just what's in your mind, it's also about what you physically do, because manifesting, or the universe at least, is only doing 50% of the work. You have to do your percent as well. I remember there was this passage in the Bible, and it said, "Seek and you shall find, knock and the door shall be opened, ask and it shall be given unto you." Ask and it shall be given. Seek and you shall find. If you're not seeking, if you're not asking, if you're not knocking, nothing is going to happen. You want to level up your job, you want to, change to a different career. Have you worked on any skills that you're going to need for this new job? Have you refreshed your resume? Have you searched for any job openings? Have you applied for any positions? All of that is things that you need to do. The universe can't give you something if you're not in a place to receive it. If you're looking for a relationship, have you leveled up yourself to make sure that you're somebody that the person that you want wants to be with? Have you gone outside and put yourself in a position to be approached by somebody that you want to approach to? What have you done to prepare you for that abundance to come to you? If you've done nothing at all, nothing will happen, because it starts with you. The universe can only do so much. The last step of manifesting is probably the most difficult in my opinion, because it involves continuing to do something without results, which is very, very hard. And it is basically faith. That's exactly what it is. Have faith. It's being able to go from failure to failure to failure without giving up, without saying, I knew this wasn't going to work in the first place, without falling back into those same old patterns that you were doing before. It's about faith. It's about recognizing that you can only do so much, and then let go. Let go of control. Let the universe do their job. The universe works in her own time frame, at her own pace, and it may not be aligned with yours, but the universe does know best. Trust is hard, especially when you're not seeing anything happen, but that is what you have to do. Happy manifesting.
This is how you change your life.
That's what means.
Or I should say your reality. I'm going to get into my real nerd bag with this one. So your mind is basically a computer, and that computer has a projector built into it. That projector projects what you call your reality, what you know as your life. And what your projector projects is completely dependent on your coding. Now, what is the coding of your computer is the belief that you hold true at your deepest level. So, an example of this would be, if you deep in your being, in your soul, believe that people cannot be trusted, people are treacherous and conniving, all your computer will project to you or for you are people that aren't trustworthy. Things to confirm what you hold true at your deepest level. So because of this, two people can be looking at the exact same thing, but have a completely different view on it, receive it completely different. This is what you call perception. This is what makes us individuals. And perception creates reality. So, you and I can both be looking at a tree, but I see something different to what you see. And this is how a lot of arguments come about, because the other person can't see what I see. And the coding in your computer is completely down to your programming. And this is where it gets intricate and technical and actually even genius. So, the only way to change or affect your programming, which is the most important thing of all of this, and this is the part that people probably don't understand, is that you have to take the back road. You can only influence and change your programming through the subconscious. So not the mind that you use to watch this video and conceptualize and use reason and use logic to be like, yes, I understand what you're saying makes sense, etc., etc. No, not that. You have to go through the subconscious. And the subconscious is recording in the background. That's the strange thing about it. So you must learn how to influence the subconscious mind, not the conscious mind. Forget about the conscious mind. The subconscious mind is operating on autopilot in the background. You don't use your conscious mind to walk. You don't use your conscious mind to sleep. These are not things that you think, oh, I'm going to walk now. So that's not how it goes. It's on autopilot. My phone died, so I just changed locations real quick. Anyway, so the subconscious mind does not discriminate. It does not know good and bad. It doesn't know right from wrong. Whatever you put into it, it will just show you more of that, give you more of that. So, if you spent your whole life being told by your family that we don't have money, money is bad, money is evil, just things of that nature, you will grow up and your subconscious mind will keep giving you more things to confirm your belief, more reasons to confirm your belief. If your parents were very encouraging and encouraged you to explore and encouraged you to, if your parents encouraged you to do a lot of things and really were behind you and instilled a lot of belief in you and told you that you can be anything in the world and told you that, you know, just things in line with that, then you will grow up and your subconscious will give you more reasons, more confirmations as to what you truly believe in your inner deepest core, not conscious, subconscious. And the thing about the subconscious, the way you ingrain things onto the subconscious is the vehicle for that are emotions. So the more emotionally charged something is, the more it can penetrate your subconscious mind. So for example, if you were always told that you don't have money, the way I just described, of course that comes with a lot of frustration, anger, disappointment, emotions. So ingrain it into your subconscious very easily. If your parents told you that you can do anything in the world, that I assume comes with a lot of positive emotions and high energy. It can penetrate your subconscious. And it's like a recording device that's always recording. It knows you better than anybody in this world. Your subconscious knows you because it's going based off, it's like a recording device. Your habits, your thoughts, everything. You can't hide from your subconscious. That's the one thing especially you cannot hide from. And it's a recording device, as I said, that does not discriminate. So throughout your day, the conversations that you have, the things you overhear, the things you see, the things that you see the things that you consume, all are being recorded on your subconscious. So now you know that, think about entertainment, music, media, school. These are the tools that have the most impact on your subconscious. So more than likely, a lot of the programming, not even more than likely, certainly most of the programming on your subconscious disk, let's call it the hard drive, was not that of your choosing. You had it given to you by your parents, by family, school, education system, media, things of that nature. So the life that you currently have is a result of the programming you've received from your environment. So therefore, if you want to change your environment, you must go in reverse and change your programming. So now that you know that, think about how much of my programming is actually my own, from my own doing.
That's the same thing that, so I read the Celestine Prophecy. And in the Celestine Prophecy,
probably going to be quite pissed off.
That's one of the techniques that you use, would be the reflection. And you go back and you look at what your parents taught you, what your parents said to you, how you were raised, the schools that you went to, the people that you had in your life, your friends. You know, you look at all of that stuff, and that'll give you your foundation and your program, like he said. And then from that program, you can figure out where it is that you are in life and how it is that you got there, really, essentially.
First thing that we understand.
I don't want to see how to change.
You want to change your life?
I don't want to see how to change your life no more. Start wisdom.
5 things that will make you wise. Number 1, speak less and listen more. You can't gain any wisdom by talking about what you already know. Number 2, learn from other people's mistakes. They made them, so you don't have to. Number 3, learn the lesson. Life is trying to teach you something. Don't stay stuck on the same level. Number 4, seek truth, not comfort. What you want is not always what you need. And number 5, realize that wisdom doesn't come from having all the answers. It comes from all the right questions.
Biblical wisdom and worldly wisdom, 2 different things. And I used to think I was so smart and had so much wisdom within the world, and I was quickly humbled once I read these 3 books in the Bible. Wisdom is very important in your daily life because it helps you understand things for what they truly are. Having true biblical wisdom strips you of those facades that you wear within the world. Proverbs 16:16. How much better to get wisdom than gold, to get insight rather than silver. James chapter 1 verse 5 and 6. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave in the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. Ecclesiastes, Proverbs, and Psalms will have you seeing life like you've never seen it before. Covers everything from wealth to health. Start building that wisdom and watch how God blesses you.
To be wise is to be a keen observer of life. Any fool would know that fire is hot by touching and experiencing it. But it takes a wise person to observe that fire is hot through the experience of others and not touch it in the first place. There are some who say there's a first time for everything. Let's have some fun. Life is too short not to do so. But I say to you, life is too short for you to be foolish. We can learn so much from the experience and history of others. In other words, there is really nothing new under the sun, and you don't have to go through life making all the mistakes by yourself in order to learn from life.
Right.
Of course, we can learn from our own mistakes, but it is better to have a healthy fear to avoid unnecessary ones by practicing humility to learn and observe life itself. That's where wisdom begins. Think about it.
Yes, sir.
Cultivating inner wisdom is a process that involves self-reflection, mindfulness, and a willingness to listen to your inner voice. Here are 4 ways you can take to cultivate inner wisdom. 1. Find moments of silence and solitude in your daily life. It can be as simple as sitting quietly for a few minutes each day or spending time in nature. This creates an opportunity for you to tune in to your inner self and connect with your intuition. 2. Take time to reflect on significant past experiences and the lessons they taught you. Consider how these experiences have shaped you and what wisdom you have gained from them. Reflecting on your journey can provide valuable insights into your own patterns, strengths, and areas for growth. 3. Engage in conversations and seek wisdom from others who inspire you spiritually. This can be through reading books, attending workshops or seminars, joining spiritual communities, or seeking guidance from mentors or teachers. Exposing yourself to different perspectives can expand your understanding and enrich your inner wisdom. 4. When engaging in conversations with others, practice active listening. Be fully present and genuinely listen to what the other person is saying without interrupting or judging. This practice of deep listening can enhance your ability to listen to your inner wisdom as well.
The first step towards wisdom is the recognition, the realization, and the understanding. Life is not about me. Can't be about me. If I am worth $200 billion, could it be about me? I have that money because I need it, because I deserve it, because it's mine to spend? It can't be. Why do I have wisdom? All for me? That can't be. That's not wise. Why do I have information? Why do I have strength? Why do I have love? To love myself, to take care of myself? Can't be. If we start with that assumption, with that simple fact of life, my life is not for me. My life is because I can use it to do something for others, beginning with my Creator. The realization my life is not for me is the beginning of wisdom and maturity.
Proverbs chapter 2 verses 1 till 6. My son, if you receive my words and treasure my commands within you, so that you incline your ear to wisdom and apply your heart to understanding. Verses 3. Yes, if you cry out for discernment, lift your voice for understanding. If you seek her as silver and search for her as hidden treasure, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find knowledge of God. For the Lord gives wisdom from his mouth, come knowledge and understanding. So, I hope what I've said can explain how to get wisdom. When you do all these things, then you start to have wisdom. God bless you.
Do you find yourself being in need of some wisdom? Well, Proverbs chapter 8 has some answers for us. This is Proverbs chapter 8, part 1. Now, after that really intense story from yesterday, Solomon is now giving us the juice. He's about to break down to us how exactly we can get wisdom. And that's something that, we all could really use. What is it, you might ask? Well, in verses 5 and 6 of chapter 8, Solomon begins to explain. And there's a key word that he uses, and it's a word that you should not forget. The word is in verse 6, and the word is listen. I feel like we live in a society that talks way too much. Well, at least for myself, I talk way too much, so I don't know about you. How much wisdom could we grow if we just stopped and listened to what people said? Whether it's our parents, our grandparents, maybe our mentors. Either way, the challenge for this part is simple. Listen.
What else you can do is to develop wisdom, spend time with wise people. Spend time with wise people, listen to wise people, read wise people. Have you read books of great philosophers? Have you read about great philosophers who were known for their wisdom? Have you read Socrates? Have you read Plato? Have you read Aristotle? Have you read these people? Have you read the great philosophers, Goethe, all those great names, Iqbal, those great philosophers with great wisdom? Have you read those people? Search the names and start reading about these people. You learn wisdom. Study the subject of wisdom and read and read and read. Educate yourself. Study and read, study and read, study and read, and be a lifelong learner, and you will see the knowledge will grow. And when your knowledge grows, your wisdom grows as well. That's how you develop wisdom.
Wisdom is simply this. The Bible says all wisdom starts with reverencing God. Wisdom is viewing things, seeing things from God's viewpoint, and then responding according to scriptural principles. It isn't enough for me to see as God sees it, but I'm to respond in the way that fits who I am as a follower of Jesus and to fit the Holy Scriptures. So it's seeing it as he sees it and following the scriptural principles that he gives to us.
So y'all want to know the secret to raising a kind,
smart,
and respectful.
So now let's do something fun.
First things first. Grab.
Let's watch something fun at the end of this show today. We'll learn one every day. I still don't want to get gigged though. Alright, y'all, we're going to leave up out of here with this one. I'm going to holler at y'all tomorrow, Tech Tuesdays. Thank y'all for joining me on Mindful Mondays today. So if you have anything that's in front of you right now that you like, yo, I'm ready to get started on this. Let's get started. Let's get it started. It's not going to do anything if you do nothing. There you go. All right, y'all. We're going to do one of these a day.
Have you ever been with a group of people and someone mentions that one of their chakras is blocked, which sparks a whole conversation on divine energy, spirituality, and the body? And you're sitting there like, what the f*** are these people talking about? That used to be me, and if that's you, or you just want to learn more about them, here it is. Understanding chakras is not only for spiritual folk, but even for people who are just trying to heal or feel connected to themselves. The chakra system originated from India, written in the oldest Hindu scriptures on earth, the Vedas, between the years 1500 and 500 BC. It is important to understand that there are many chakra systems for many different purposes. But most likely, if you have heard someone speaking about the chakras, they are referring to the 7 chakras that connect your physical, mental, and spiritual body. Globally, this has become one of the most well-known systems. Before even speaking about chakras, we need to dive into its essence. Energy. Everything that exists in this world is made up of energy and is constantly moving, vibrating, all at different frequencies. Your eyes may not be able to see everything moving because of how fast it is moving, but nothing is ever still. Everything is made up of energy. You and I are energy. The device you're watching this off of is made of energy. The water you just drank, the mountains, your thoughts, the last thing you touched, all pure energy. And our bodies and our chakras are 100% energy too. Chakras are main energy centers of the body and run from the base of the spine to the top of the head. Qi is our life force. Qi is the energy current that runs through our bodies, providing us with circulation, nutrients, and minerals that we need to be whole. It's our job to keep our chakras open and flowing between one another. Often this is not an easy task, especially through hard times. When there is an imbalance or blockage of chakras, this can lead to physical, mental, or emotional pain or disorders. Each one possesses its own color and vibrational frequency. These wheels are the catalysts of consciousness and human function. Your first chakra is your root. The root chakra represents survival consciousness. It is red, which symbolizes safety, survival, grounding, and nourishment from the earth's energy. A healthy root leads to a logical mind, physical strength, and orderliness. Its position is at the base of our spine and is considered the human's relation to the earth. Rooted to the natural world, it's our stability. This chakra color represents instinctual fight or flight response and is centered around feeling safe, comfortable, and confident. Exercise, sunlight, proper nutritious food, and a good night's sleep are very important for keeping this root chakra healthy and balanced. When you feel stressed, afraid, or worried, your root chakra can be blocked. When you're feeling strong, healthy, loved, and happy, your root chakra is open to you. The second chakra is the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra can be found below the belly button, and the orange chakra color is associated with emotions, creativity, and sexuality. It connects with other humans through sex, fertility, and reproduction. Desires and feelings of intimacy come with the sacral chakra, and when we are lacking the ability to connect intimately with ourselves and others in a healthy way, an imbalance or block is created. When your sacral chakra is blocked, you may feel it is difficult to be emotionally or sexually open and are involved in unhealthy toxic relationships. You may also have trouble viewing the relationship with yourself and body image as negative. When you are aligned with your sacral chakra, you will experience self-love, healthy sexual experiences, and other pleasures in life. The practice of tantric yoga is known to help align this chakra color.